Here we have a 57 two-door hardtop front cushion seat cover set. One is produced by Cars Incorporated, which you have a nice tag here in the back. Shows the date and that it was handcrafted at Cars in Michigan or California. And this here is a Ciadella interior. Both of these items or both of these cushions are for the same seat. But I'd like to point out the differences to you. As you can see here, you have a non-original homemade listing that's not the proper size. This is the proper listing and the correct size. You'll also have your black pieces are sewn with a generic orange colored thread, including top stitch areas, as shown here on this one. And then we also have, this is for your seat adjuster lever. The original seat cover set has a hole on the side with some listing behind it, and that's to allow your seat adjuster so that it never rips and is just original. If you go with the Ciadella interior, you'll have to just put a hole here, and I'm not sure what'll happen in the end. Obviously, I don't know how well you can tell, there's quite a color difference. This, the Ciadella interiors tends to be, have a lot of brown or copper maybe on it, as opposed to the Cars Michigan has the bright red. And so actually it's really not bright, it's just more correct. We don't call it bright red, it's just 57 red. Also, if you look at the cloth, you can see that our cloth in Michigan is a tighter weave and much thicker. If you look at the one that's done at Ciadella, not only do the clouds actually run together in spots, but they appear to be kind of puffy and the thread seems to be kind of loose, and you can actually see right through it if you pick it up and look in the light. And then another major thing that I noticed is if you look at the back of the vinyl, you can really tell, but there's no stretch. When you go to install it and you have any type of a wrinkle, I'm not sure how in the world you would be able to get it out. So everything is, when they make vinyl, they make it so that it has a stretch one way and not the other way. And the reason for that is so that when you install it and you get a wrinkle, you can actually, you know, work the wrinkle out. And then also there should be room for the hinge of the front cushion. This should be top stitched. It is originally. We have it top stitched, and we always have top stitched it here in Michigan. And you know, they just don't do it there for some reason. But I think that might be about it.
The reinforcement and the stitching?
Oh yeah, there you go. And then also they have, as you can see, this seat is ripping out from installation, and you know, it's a very high stressed area. We always in Michigan take the extra step and try to help the installer and build something that will hold up and stay. So we always reinforce high stretch areas, or you know, tight areas, so that your seat lasts longer and it holds up better. It makes it easier for the installer and it holds up better for the customer. We also, you know, take the time to actually sew extra reinforcements on the back of spots where it's high stressed. And I think that might be about it. Right now I'd like to take the time to talk about the differences in listing. At Cars Incorporated, we always try to do things original and as correct as possible, sometimes improved. But as you can see here, this is some stretchy, homemade, I don't know what it is, kind of black cloth that they've cut to a generic size. It's not the proper size and not the proper listing. And this is the proper size and the proper listing. It's, you know, made to hold up. It doesn't, you know, it's got a nice clean pocket for the rod to slide through for easy installation. Here we're comparing a 57 two-door hardtop front cushion again, and this is a Cars Incorporated one, and as you can see, we use the correct color and weight vinyl, and we top stitch it as it was originally. We have a top stitch going around your toe kick and around the center of the seat, both in the proper color thread, to allow the hinge for the front seat backs to come through. If you just look over here at the competitors, what you have is only half of the hole is here. You're missing the hole that should be there originally, and also obviously the wrong color thread. Here we're comparing a front cushion for any 55-7 two-door hardtop or convertible, and again, as I'd like to point out to you, is originally it came with this this hole cut out and all top stitched around, reinforced with listing. That's the way it was originally, and this allows for your seat adjuster lever. And here I would like to point out to you that the competitor just sends it plain. At Cars Incorporated, we always try to give you reinforcements on your high stress areas to avoid issues during installation, and this is the reinforcement here, and when you flip it over, and you can see that it's a nice clean seat, and it should be a nice clean finish. As you can see, this one here, which has been torn, was already torn when I received it. If it had that reinforcement there, I'm sure it would have helped to avoid this problem. Here we're just pointing out yet another little extra step that Cars Incorporated takes that our competitors don't. This is the back of the front cushion of a 57 two-door hardtop, and we sew a nice reinforcement. This is the back area, like where your toe kick is, and we sew this reinforcement to support this piece of vinyl so that it holds up and it's nice and durable, and as you can see, our competitor don't. Here we're looking at the back of the vinyl for a 57 two-door hardtop, and I'd like to compare the differences here. What you have here is our competitors, and here is Cars Incorporated. And ours is a nice vinyl that has a stretch one way, just as it's supposed to, so that when you go to install it into your car, when you have a wrinkle, that you can actually work the wrinkle out. Our competitor has, like, it's almost like a thick rubber, and I can't get any stretch hardly at all out of it, so I really think that would be very difficult to install. Here we're comparing a nice, this is a Cars Incorporated as opposed to our competitor's cloth, and what I'm pointing out to you here is that we have a nice tight weave with a nice high thread count in comparison to, this is what happens when you have a lower thread count with a looser weave. It actually appears to have ripples in the material where it actually rises and separates. Here we're comparing 57 two-door hardtop front cushion, and we're looking at the cloth in this case. And I flipped this over to the back to show you that, as you can see, you can tell that there's a nice heavy Scotch guard and backing on the back of this cloth. This right here, I really don't see it at all. If there is any there, it's not near what we put on the back of ours. And there's actually a few purposes for the backing on the back of the vinyl or cloth. For one, it controls the stretch in the weave and keeps it from getting really wavy when you try to install it. The other thing is obviously to protect your cloth from the front. And then third and most importantly is when you have a nice backing on the back, it keeps it from fraying and actually falling apart. So over time when you sit on it, it doesn't actually shred into pieces. Previously we talked about the cloth and the weave and the thread count. And as you can see here, because this is our competitor seat, and you can tell from looking at it that you can actually see through it, and that would be caused from lower thread count and obviously less original. This is theirs, and now I'd like to show you mine. Here's the Cars Incorporated seat, and as you can see, it's the nice tight weave, and you can't see through it.